Hi, I'm Frank Harrington, and I'm the head of the real estate programs in the School of Surveying and Construction Management in TU Dublin. We are the leading providers of real estate and surveying education in Ireland. At present, we offer a Level 7 Auctioneering program and our flagship Level 8 in Property Economics Valuation Surveying at undergrad level. We also offer a Level 9 Masters in Real Estate, which we offer both part-time and full-time, and other research opportunities, including PhD and postdoc studies. All of our real estate programs are recognised by the Property Services Regulatory Authority and entitle graduates to full property licences in all categories. Our courses are also accredited by the Society of Chartered Surveyors Ireland. However, you must obtain a minimum of a Level 8 degree in order to enrol on the assessment of professional competence to become a Chartered Surveyor and full member of the SCSI and Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. We are also academic members of international organisations such as the Urban Land Institute and the International Valuation Standards. These international connections not only provide a network of international thought leaders in the built environment, investment and real estate sectors, but together with the RICS designation, ensure that our programmes are internationally recognised. Our graduates have had successful careers, not only in Ireland, but throughout the world. Our auctioneering programme not only provides graduates with all the licences to work as a traditional estate agent or property manager, it also provides the opportunity to complete the Level 8 programme, either in TU Dublin or internationally, and become a Chartered Surveyor. Many of our graduates have continued on to the Property Economics programme, while others have gone to the UK to complete their studies. We also work to create the best environment for students to enjoy their time in university. The International Real Estate Challenge has been led by our programme chair, Declan McKeown, who will talk to us in a couple of moments in a little bit more detail about the course. And it's often recognised by many of the students as one of the highlights of their degree. We have a very experienced and innovative programme team that is led by Declan, and Declan will now talk to you about the auctioneering programme.
Hello, nice to be able to talk to you. My name is Declan McKeown. I'm the programme chair for the BSc in Real Estate, Auctioneering, Valuation and Estate Agency. Thank you, Frank, for the introduction, and after I have a few minutes talking to you, you'll hear from some of our students and graduates. So what is the BSc in Real Estate? Well, it's a 3-year full-time course and it's located at our Bolton Street campus. Just to show you how it fits into the overall structure of TU Dublin, we're in the College of Engineering and the Built Environment. We're in the Department of Surveying and Construction Management, and we are in Property Surveying section, which incorporates Auctioneering, Valuation and Estate Agency, one of our flagship programs, Property Economics, another of our flagship programs, and then Real Estate Masters, again, a third of our flagship programs. So you're in good company. When you come to us in TU Dublin, a very important aspect that we feel is your welfare. And for example, in first year, Lena and Evelyn are your year tutors. You will also be your tutor in second year and indeed a year tutor in your final year. And these will help you along your road to success as you go through university. So it's a 3-year pass level degree, it's a level 7. There are 12 modules per year, and that's broken down over 2 semesters. So in each semester, you'll have 6 modules, and we can look at an indicative timetable just later on. A number of very experienced lecturers will be seeing you on a daily basis. We've got academics, principally academics. We've got other academics who would be practitioner academics. In other words, they would have a lot of experience working out in the property world and also then would have an academic background. Like myself, I've been lecturing now for 35 years, but of those, I have been a consultant for 20 of those years. So I like to bring into the university classroom my experience of real life property dealings. And I think the students find that very helpful. One wonderful aspect of this program is in the 3rd year, you can apply for inclusion in the International Real Estate Challenge. Now, the International Real Estate Challenge is a body of universities that came together. It's been running now nearly 20 years at this stage, and for the last number of years it was based in Milan. And here's a gang of our students from about 3 years ago. About half of them are auctioneers, the other half are PhD students, and they come together, do a wee bit of work in Dublin University before they move to Amsterdam. They are on the program for about 10 days. They would stay initially about 4 to 5 days in Madrid. They would then go by flight or by train to one of a number of allocated cities. When they would travel, they would be traveling in their new international team. So they wouldn't be with people from TU Dublin. There would be people from the universities in Milan, Warsaw School of Economics, universities in Finland, universities in Germany, universities in Slovakia, and sometimes Johns Hopkins University over in the States. So a wonderful opportunity to learn so many things. One is about the markets and the property markets in a number of European countries. You're dealing in international teams, and you would be exposed to the market in a particular city, and you would be taken around there by chartered surveyors who will then tell you about the issues you need to know for your project. You would then fly back or arrive back in Milan, and over the next 2 to 3 days you would prepare a presentation which will be made to a panel of international experts. It's a lot of hard work, but it's also a lot of fun, and it's one thing that our students really enjoy. So that's an opportunity when you get to third year. But let's talk a bit more about what you might be doing as a graduate of this course. Well, here's a photograph I took of the Docklands, and in the top right corner you will see that there are a number of cranes. So where would you be involved in this type of development? Well, the first thing to say is that initially, before those buildings were constructed, there would have been traditional warehouses on the property. So the person who owned the warehouses would need to get a valuation to find out how much their property was worth if they were interested in selling it. So you could be valuing the properties. They would also like an indication of what possible planning they might look for, or a potential purchaser might look for. So you'd be involved in planning aspects. You could then be acting, or another one of you, because you would never act for the buyer and the seller. So another one of your class, when you're a graduate, would act on behalf of the purchaser of the site. So they would need to know what they could put on the site. So they would carry out what's called a feasibility study. So they'd have to carry out investigations into the market, the demand for certain types of property. Is it residential? Is it office? Is it retail? They would also have to check what planning would allow on the site. They would have to check rents, and they would have to check sales prices. So all of this would go together in this feasibility study, and they would then decide that they could afford, their client could afford to pay a certain amount for the site. But the client would need to get funding, and to get funding they would go to one of the funding agencies. It would normally be, say, a bank, and the bank would then lend on the basis of a valuation which would be carried out by a third graduate from your class. The purchase of the site would then go ahead with the development. They would build something along the lines of what you can see there, and then maybe a fourth member of your graduate class would come along, and they would put the properties on the market either for renting or for sale. So quite an amount of stuff involved just in this one particular site, and that can be replicated over all of Ireland, though it would obviously be a different type of a development. So here's just some things I looked up for you. Here on the right hand side, for example, are properties that are for sale at the moment. So here there was an office for sale at 3 Inns Court, looking for €600,000. There are offices for sale in 2 to 4 Sussex Street, and it's 1.7 million. And then in 56 Parnell Square, there was an office for sale again for 1.2 million. And these are being offered for sale at the moment by Cushman and Wakefield. By Cushman and Wakefield, later on, you will have a talk by Joanne Gill. Joanne Gill went through your course and is now director in Cushman and Wakefield's. But I thought it would be interesting if you looked at this as well. Here is a new development. So you might think how you could be involved in that development, or indeed any of these developments. These are all new developments which are currently on the market. So let's look, for example, at this development in Navan. So we can go into it, and you could be instructed by the developer, so you would be advising them on what type of property there would be the most demand for. So is it 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom? Is it a townhouse type development, or is it apartment type development? And you would then be bringing the estate to the market, and you would be trying to sell the houses. This is a fairly recent wonderful aid to estate agents. Just have a look at this and see what you think. All right. So this is what's called a 3D imager. If we go in here, we can actually look around the house. Go up the stairs. And when you're here, you can actually swing around and look back down at the house again. Okay. So let's go back down. And we go into one of the front rooms. When you go in the front room, you're in here, because this is the show house, you're going to have the house types which are there, and it's very nicely fitted out. But not only can you do that, if you go back down here, you can view what's called the dollhouse view. And you can swing the house around. Not wonderful? I just think that's great, you can do that. Okay, so you can swing the house around, and then you can also, the walkthrough is what we did here. You can also look at the floor plans. So let's look at the floor plans. Let's look at the first floor. Okay, as they have it, the ground floor as we know it. And then the second floor are the bedrooms. You can also use the measuring tool. So you can take that and you can measure how, wide the rooms are. So if you just wanted to check there, and just take it over to roughly there, and that's 2.96. So to put you in the position to be able to advise your client on the price you might want to sell something for, the value of something, how you will need to have an understanding of leases, how you'll have to have an understanding of the law in so many areas, you'll need to go through a few modules. Let's look at these. So that is this year, the modules for the first year. So you have valuations, marketing, that we just spoke about. You'll be studying about economics, because the property market exists within the economic model and is very much influenced by what's happening in the economy. And for COVID is a very good example of this. Then you'll have financial accountancy, because you'll be able to work out important figures in terms of property returns. You'll have quantitative methodology and information technology, and residential construction studies, because again, to understand the building and to know what type of condition it's in is an important aspect. The first semester, what you see there in yellow, runs from September to December, and the second semester is from January to May. So in the second semester, you're building upon the information you've learned in the first semester in a number of modules, and then we introduce some additional modules, for example, law, you'll find really very interesting. That's a timetable for this year. Now, that's not to say it will be the same for next year, but what we try and do is we try to keep a day free for students so they can carry out their project work. But that's an indication, but you can't rely on that for next year. It will be looked at on a year-to-year basis. We run an information platform called Brightspace. This is where you will get your lecture material, you'll get your projects, you will upload your projects. You will be able to look at videos if the lecturers are preparing any. For example, this year, because we are in lockdown, all of our material has been delivered online. I'm now talking to you at a time when good information is coming out regarding vaccines. So hopefully next year you'll actually be real life in the university campus. And that's the type of information we can put up in terms of Brightspace. So lots of information for you there, as well as obviously your lectures. Yeah, we pride ourselves at the university of the care and attention we give to our students. This is all backed up by Student Services Centre and the Student Union. And there are quite an amount of student activities and student clubs available. So I'll finish up just by saying to you, really think about this program. It's a wonderful program, and it's a wide program. You come out, I always say, as business people with a specialization in property. That's so useful in today's world. There are lots of job opportunities available, and the property business, it's a people's business. And I don't know of any person who has gone into the property business after graduating from this course who regrets their decision. They really like what they're doing, and they get a kick out of it, and they get paid quite well, and they enjoy their day-to-day work. And that's another advantage of being a property person. You're not stuck in an office all day. Probably more than half your time will be outside the office, so it's great. So we would really love to see you joining us for the 2021-22 academic year. If you need any more information, you have our list of contacts. As I said, my name is Declan McKeown. If you go on to our website, there's lots of information there. But one thing I would say to you also is drop into a local estate agent or a local firm of chartered surveyors. Tell them you're interested in the business and ask them for their advice. So now I'm delighted to hand you over to Hannah, who is one of our third year students, and she'll give you an idea of what life is like as a student in the university. So can I take this opportunity of wishing you the very best in whatever road you decide to travel down in terms of your occupation. Hopefully we'll see you in September, but the very best. Bye.
My name is Hannah Quinn. I'm a third year student of Auctioneering, Valuation and Estate Agency with TU Dublin. So I went back as a mature student at 32. One of the main reasons I initially looked at auctioneering was I've always had a kind of an interest in property, the economics around property. Then when I investigated the course further, what I loved was that I could hopefully get a job straight from graduation, or I also had the option to further study, which I really liked. So now that I'm in the course, what I enjoy is the kind of broad range of subjects that we've covered. So we've done some law, we do construction, planning, different types of valuations, which I really enjoy. We also do like project management, property marketing. So they're kind of practical subjects where the work that you're doing in class is what you would actually be doing if you're an estate agent. So I really enjoy them. Yeah, there is a large range of subjects. So basically, obviously, because of COVID, it's changed, but the atmosphere in the college is great. So I do miss that. There's great support for students. As a mature student, it's obviously daunting going back. But yeah, there's student services have been really supportive. So all in all, I would really recommend the course. And I definitely urge you to investigate it further if it's something that you're interested in.